Destined Ones, Black Myth Wukong is now out, and that means the world is going hands-on with the most exciting game of 2024. The path through the mountains is treacherous, but luckily, you won't be walking that path alone. My name is Kodiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and today we're sharing our ultimate beginner's guide for Black Myth Wukong. Friends, I had the pleasure of playing Black Myth about a week ahead of launch, and let me tell you, there is a lot to learn. The goal of this video is to get you grounded in this new fantasy world, teach you the ropes, and send you on your way to collecting the lost relics. As always, there will be no story spoilers, and if you have any questions along the way, feel free to leave us a comment down below. So to begin, let's quickly level set on what Black Myth Wukong actually is. For starters, it's a semi-open world action RPG. Forget the notion of souls, because that is not what this game is. You are entirely driven by the game's main story, but along the way, you'll find no shortage of interesting things to interact with and deadly creatures to defeat. And to truly master the game, you need to understand the various systems that give you your strength. Black Myth Wukong features a standard leveling system. The more things you kill, the more experience you gain, and as you level up, you gain sparks. These are essentially skill points that you can allocate into one of a number of trees that grow more diverse as you unlock spells and transformations. We have a full guide already released on the channel that break down some of the best skills to invest in early, so definitely check that out because each tree has a lot to offer. The beautiful thing about sparks is that they can be reset at any time for free at a shrine. These are checkpoints you'll find throughout the world at regular intervals and act as your campfires or sites of grace, saving you progress and providing you with a myriad of options to help you prepare for the challenges ahead. If you find a part of the world too challenging, you can always farm for experience, which is a viable strategy, and every spark does open up new possibilities. As you obtain new sparks, you can allocate them immediately, but if you want to reset your skill tree, you will need a Keeper Shrine. A handy reminder that you do obtain the Incense Trail Talisman at the very start of the game, and this allows you to instantly teleport back to your last Keeper Shrine. You never have to worry about losing resources, currency, or anything of that nature, so remember to use it to quickly get back to a checkpoint. Speaking of Keeper Shrines, there's more to them than meets the eye. In fact, they're your central hub for all things progression. Of course, you can rest at a shrine. This restores your health and mana and refills your gourd, or your healing flask. Resting also resets enemies in the world, so take note of that. Keeper Shrines also let you teleport between them using the travel function. There are loads of secrets scattered throughout the game, and chances are you'll eventually want to double back. Also at the shrine is the self-advance option. This is where you'll set your spells, equipping the right ones for your playstyle. You'll also reignite your spark here, allowing you to reallocate all of your skill points. Finally, you'll use this option to cultivate spirits. Spirits are obtained by defeating powerful enemies found throughout each chapter. Some are mini-bosses that require sound tactics to defeat, while others are simply enhanced versions of common enemies. These glow blue, so they're pretty hard to miss. One spirit can be equipped at any time, and these can be called upon during combat to unleash a special move, while also providing you with a passive bonus just by equipping the spirit. At the Keeper Shrine, you can cultivate the spirit, spending will, the main currency in the game, to make the spirit stronger and more potent. Get familiar with this system, and don't be afraid to experiment with different spirits as they all perform differently. Now back to the Keeper Shrine, because we're not done. This is also where you'll craft your armor pieces and your weapons. This is a fairly linear system, with key bosses often dropping the core material required to upgrade to the next tier of gear. Once you kill a boss, you still might not have the required reagents needed to craft the armor or the weapon, so you'll need to explore each of the chapters to find chests that will often have the necessary crafting materials. It doesn't take much to reach each new tier, so a little light exploring will be more than enough. Weapons each have their own attack stats, as well as a unique effect that you'll want to adopt and weave into your playstyle. You're not laden with options at each tier, so my best advice is to get comfortable with each unique effect and utilize it to the best of your ability. Armor is similar. Each piece has its own defense values, but each set also has bonuses. Wearing 2, 3, or 4 pieces, depending on the gear, grants you a unique effect that usually leans into a certain spell. And just like with the weapon effects, you'll want to lean into this if you want to maximize its impact. The Keeper Shrine is also where you'll change out your brew. Your drink has a major influence on the way your gourd heals. You'll start out with a simple, flat-out heal, but over time, you'll acquire different drinks, and these change the nature of your healing. Add on to that soaks, which further enhance the drink with passive effects, and you've actually got an interesting healing system. These items, be it drinks and soaks, can be mixed and matched and are often found off the beaten path, which is why exploration is so crucial. The Keeper Shrine also conveniently houses a store where you can buy and sell items. Each chapter has a limited inventory of items for sale, and you'll use will to make those purchases. Over the course of each chapter, you'll be able to purchase medicine, which provides timed buffs that enhance either your offensive or defensive capabilities. Sometimes you'll be able to purchase a few limited crafting materials used for those armor sets and weapons I mentioned before. Then there are a handful of ingredients that you can purchase. These are used to make medicine via a simple crafting system. As I said, you can also sell your scraps of gold that you find out in the world, and this is a nice way to build up your stockpile of will needed elsewhere in the game. Finally, if you purchase the digital deluxe version of the game, you'll see an option for Trailblazer's gift. Hop in there and claim your weapon, armor set, and curio, which gives you a nice leg up if you're just starting out with the game. Now, since I mentioned the word, I do want to touch on curios briefly. These are trinkets, plain and simple, and you'll find them throughout the world. You can equip any two at one time, and they provide you with an array of buffs, both offensive and defensive in nature. Again, exploration is key here, so you can find the right gear to enhance your playstyle. Now, I can't stress enough how important exploration is in this game. Once you reach Chapter 2 and beyond, the world opens up, and while it never becomes completely explorable, the number of side paths and hidden alcoves will make your head spin. Around any corner at any time you can find a curio or a new drink, and there's no real rhyme or reason to that discovery, which is why it's so spectacular. While exploring, you'll also want to look out for NPCs. There are a few scattered across the world, and they all have their part to play in your overall adventure. Eventually, you'll run into characters like Zhu Dog, who teach you the art of making medicine, but other characters such as Man and Stone are tied more closely to secrets and specialty loot. On top of that, you'll want to be on the lookout for meditation spots. These are found throughout each chapter, and they provide you with a spark point. Not only that, but each meditation spot gives you a cinematic view of the zone you're exploring, which just highlights how gorgeous the game is. Even better, you'll want to keep a keen eye out for small tabletop chests. These contain valuable celestial medicine that permanently increase your health, mana, or stamina depending on the item you pick up. Now, fun fact, once you find Zhu Dog in his resting spot in Chapter 2, you can craft celestial medicine yourself to give you an even bigger edge. This is made better by the fact that you can respec your celestial medicine, allowing you to rework your core stats as well as your spells and skills with the self-advance system. Finally, exploration just leads to loot. It's that simple. Whether it be a spirit boss that you can kill and claim, or a chest filled with a couple of gold pieces or upgrade items, the more you search, the more you find. Be sure to check all your corners because these developers know what they're doing and they hide secrets everywhere. I know for a fact I missed a ton during my first playthrough, and I can't wait to go back and actually sniff out all of the loot because I know it's there, just lurking around some hidden corner. Now, to wrap up our Ultimate Beginner's Guide, we have to talk about combat and all the important things that feed into that system. For starters, you already know about sparks, and that's essential to creating your build. The Destined one has access to 3 fighting stances, and you can spec into one or all of them depending on your build. Smash Stance is an all-around great option that allows you to charge up your heavy attack while moving. Pillar Stance allows you to perch on top of your weapon, avoiding enemy attacks, and eventually bringing it crashing down on the heads of your foes. Finally, Thrust Stance magically enhances the length of your staff to hit enemies that are out of your standard range, perfect for those fights where fighting in melee is dangerous. Each stance gives you access to a different type of heavy attack, and experimenting with all 3 was one of my favorite parts of learning the game. They all excel in different areas of combat, so it's worth trying out each of them yourself to see what you like best. To execute a heavy attack, you need Focus, which is charged either by holding down the heavy attack button at the cost of stamina, or by stringing together light attacks. The more focused, the more potent your heavy attack is, and as you unlock skills deeper in the trees, you'll be able to string together different heavy attacks for even greater effect. When your staff doesn't cut it, you'll need to rely on spells, and these are powerful augmentations to your build. There are 4 slots in total, and you can only equip certain spells in each slot, which limits your options, but ultimately keeps you well-rounded. Eventually, you'll unlock spells like Rock Solid, which adds a parry-like functionality to your kit. Another spell, Ring of Fire, gives you the ability to heal without using your gourd. Then there's my favorite spell, A Pluck of Many, which allows you to create the iconic monkey clones that will attack on your behalf. Be warned, mana is very restrictive in this game, and you'll want to do what you can to increase your maximum mana pool or reduce the mana cost of your spells through a combination of equipment, skills, and celestial medicine. The more mana you have, the more you can tap into their awesome power. The last type of spell is called a transformation, and here again, you'll acquire these much in the same way you would a spirit, by defeating a powerful enemy found off the main path. Transformations cost might to use, which is different than mana, and this is built up by attacking enemies. When using a transformation, you turn into an entirely new being, and you'll gain access to a new moveset. The beauty here is that you also have a new health bar which is supplementary to your own. I can't tell you the number of times I've used a transformation to save myself from certain death, only to have the transformation help push me across the finish line and defeat a challenging foe. Again, experiment here, because no two options are the same. I for one enjoy the Hoarfrost transformation that you get in Chapter 3 by defeating the secret Monk of the Sea boss, but you may find you like something different. It's entirely up to you. Finally, I want to talk about vessels. At the time of making this guide, I've only found one, but it adds another on-demand action to your combat. In my case, I have the Fireproof Mantle, which I obtained by ringing the 3 bells found throughout Chapter 1. Once you do that, you'll gain access to a secret temple, and there, if you defeat the boss, you'll gain your first vessel. These powerful items provide both passive equipped effects as well as an on-use effect, and they are incredibly potent. I wish I could share more about these mysterious items, but at this point, I've only run across one on my journey. So there you have it, everything you need to know to get started in Black Myth Wukong. If you like this video and you want more Destined 1 goodness in your feeds, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, and consider subscribing. Our channel is one of just a few creators that actually had access to this game before launch, so keep it right here and never miss a thing. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.